it's got to be Dove's Farm. It really is my favourite yeast to use. I love how it's got the little pull tab as well. Oh, wow, when you get it off properly. But it will still work. See? So let's just measure out our warm water. We need 750 mils of this. So I have my warm water in my jug, and I'm going to change my scales to millilitres. There we have it, 750. There we go, basically the right amount. And we add in 3 tablespoons of honey. I have my organic honey. This is one of my favourites. Tablespoon, not this bit, this bit. So, 3 tablespoons of honey. One. Three. Let's give that a mix up. And in the meantime, we'll do our second bowl. So again, 750 mils of warm water into here. To compensate for that. And 3 tablespoons of honey. 1. 2. 3. I'll just give that a mix up again. And leave it to rest. So now that our yeast is foamy, we're going to add some flour. And I got a new flour this week. I really thought, wow, when I seen it, I've never seen it before, but it is Wessex Mill 6 seed bread flour. Now, I love making seeded bread, and I have made it okay before, but for some reason I didn't think about putting the seeds. For some reason I didn't actually think about putting the seeds within the flour. So this has got 6 seeds. It's got, what seeds is it again? Linseed, millet, poppy, sunflower, and chai. So we've got that. I think I might add in pumpkin seeds, because I do like pumpkin seeds within bread. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll put this in. So we need 950 grams of bread flour. And then I'll stick in pumpkin seeds to it as well. I just love how these bags are like, you see that they're sealed quite traditionally with the string. That's cool. There's nothing worse than getting a bag of flour that's just like falling to bits. Ooh, interesting. This looks cool. So 950 grams. We're in mils, so we're not going to do that. 950 of this into here. We're getting there. 950. Good chunk of the bag. And I'm going to add in some salt and maybe 50 grams of pumpkin seeds. We'll see how it goes. So I have my coarse sea salt. I'm going to add in this 1.5 tablespoons of salt. So we need 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to add in the pumpkin seeds too. So, pumpkin seeds. So that's 50 grams in there. Now we're going to give it a mix. It does become quite a sticky dough, but if you just keep mixing it, I think I might add in a tiny touch more flour. This is obviously a new flour to me, so it maybe isn't as, I don't know, potent as the normal stuff. But I just know by looking at that the dough is too wet. It's too wet, so that's more like it. Yeah, definitely. Just a little bit less wet and sticky, but it is still a sticky dough. That's exactly what we're needing. If you can see it here, and that is what we are needing. So we are going to set this aside for 30 minutes. My kitchen is quite warm, so I'm going to stick this over in the corner. Now it's time to get onto our second loaf, plain loaf. This one's nice and frothy too. Nice and activated. The exact same recipe, but just with plain flour, not plain, strong white bread flour. So, you're going to need 1.5 tablespoons of salt. Doesn't matter what order you put this in, it will still be fine. And we need 950 grams of bread flour. Stick that one in. And there we go. So give that a mix until it's all combined. We shouldn't need to add extra flour to this one, but we shall just see. So, completely combined. This will go and sit over the other one. I'll set a timer for 30 minutes. So now that the bread has had its first rise, well the dough, sorry, has had its first rise, just look at that, seeds. Ooh. We are going to do our first round of stretch and folds. So first up, get a bowl of water. And you need to dip your hands in here, get them nice and wet, and then just stick them into the dough. This dough is very sticky, as you can see. Start getting it worked. Get your hand as wet as you can so that it doesn't stick. The first round of stretch and folds never seem to stretch as well, but trust me, by the time we get to the second one, you'll start to see a huge difference. So that's the first round of stretch and folds for this one. And now we're going to stretch and fold the seeded loaf. Again, with your water here, you're going to get your hands really wet and go in. So you scoop it up. Oh, look at all of that seeds. I'm so excited to try this bread. So there you have it. So that's our stretch and folds done. Now we have to rest this again for another 30 minutes. So that is the timer up for our bread again. And you can see it's lovely and jiggly. So again, start off with your bowl of water, and you're going to start with this one. Make sure your hands are really wet. Look at that. Ooh. And you'll see a difference with the stretch and folds this time. Look at how good that is. So much better. You just want to scoop under, pull up, give it a little sugar and drop. Make sure that it folds over whilst you drop. And last one for this one. There, leave it to rest again. So we will go in and do our stretches and folds with the seeded loaf. So scoop, wet your hand and scoop. Oh, look at how much better that is. Turn the bowl, scoop, pull up, scoop, pull up, drop. Oh, I actually love the feeling of this dough. It's like, you know, like if you get slime with like bits in it. Yeah. Very sensory and very lovely. Right, that's that one done. So I'll put it to the side again. Now, the bread have both finished their rise in the bowls. However, come across a little bit of a problem. I only have 2 Dutch ovens and I've got dough here for 4 breads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this seeded one into the fridge for just now. That will slow down the proofing process and it'll give me a chance to get this one proven and into the final rest stage. Shaped, sorry, and then into the final rest stage. So these are my 2 Dutch ovens. A little bit battered, as you can see, but they do the job. So we're going to line these. So that is our Dutch ovens lined. Set them to the side and generously sprinkle your flour. Look at that. So bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. Oh. A good sprinkle of flour again. So that it doesn't stick. So we're going to now split this in 2 and then shape. And if you see any of my other videos, you will see this is like my favourite part. I love shaping bread. So cut it in half, stretch it out. Stretch out as far as you can. And you're going to want to fold one side in, fold the other side in, and then just roll from the bottom, making sure that you tuck it in as best as possible. You get a really good stretch on that dough. And then when you get to the end, you just want to pinch the end parts together, tuck and pinch, and then you can shape. And once shaped, you're going to want to, where are we? You're going to want to take this and put it into your, and put it into your Dutch oven with the seam side down. And then we will set this aside to raise to prove again for an hour and a half. But we still have the second half of the dough to do. Nellie has now joined me. Hi Nellie. Don't eat the dough, please. Again, just stretch it out. And then we go flap, flap, and tuck the ends in. Tuck it all the way in until you get to, again, this end piece, and just pinch, pinch, pinch. You can do this bread any shape that you want, but since my Dutch ovens are circular and oval shaped, I just like to make them more into like a cob. There's the dough, goes in here and goes to rest for an hour and 30 minutes. It's time to put the bread in the oven now. So now the bread's in there for 10 minutes, and then after the 10 minutes we take out the pan of water that's in there and we turn the temperature down to 190 and cook it for, well, bake it for 40 minutes. So the bread is now ready. Just look how beautiful that is. I love it. I love it. So we're going to take these two out. And that's the other one. So I'm going to take them out of the Dutch ovens, because I obviously need to use these Dutch ovens for my other two breads that will be going in. There we go. But I'm going to leave these Dutch ovens to cool down before that, because I can't put the dough into them if they're too hot, because it'll just cook the dough.